Hey guys, it's Mr. Morris. I want to talk to you guys about finishing your notes for the project here. Okay, so I'm looking at my Cornell notes. And I want to make sure that everybody has these things on their notes before they turn them in. Okay, so let's take a look. Here I have the journey to the afterlife. That's what my topic is. I have my name, my period. I have the date. Oh, that's the wrong date, but we'll go with it. Okay, and then of course, I need to make sure that I have my essential question. So right here, please put your essential question that you and I met with and talked about. So my essential question is, uh, why was the journey to the afterlife so important to ancient Egypt? Okay, so that is my question because that is what I came up with Mr. Morris and myself. Okay, so there we go. Now, I got to make sure I have my first subclaim question here. How did the ancient Egyptians prepare for the afterlife? Okay. I have and you have to have this, I got my 3 URLs here because I used these 3 places, these 3 sources to get my notes that I made for my notes. Okay, good. Do I have my what notes? Okay, there's my what notes. Have my why notes. Okay, yep, got my why notes. Here, of course, I have my how notes. Well, the first thing I'm going to do, of course, is I'm going to make sure I turn my question, how did the ancient Egyptians prepare for the afterlife? I'm going to turn that into a statement. The ancient Egyptians prepared for the afterlife by, okay, that's my statement. And now it's a how question, so I start with my how notes. And of course, because it's a how question, I go how, I go what, and I go why. So I go how, what, why. Now I drop those in there. Now, in looking at my how notes, right, I notice as I'm reading my summary here, I notice the word elaborate. I don't know what elaborate means. So here, I'm going to change elaborate into detailed because I know what detailed means. I looked it up on the internet. Elaborate means detailed. Okay, I changed it to a word I know. Good. Well, actually, in going forward and reading through it, I also realize that I'm not really sure what eternal means. So I look up the word eternal because I have to have it in my summary and I have to know what it means. Well, eternal means forever. So I change the word to forever. And I leave that, of course, in my summary. I'm going back over my summary here. The ancient Egyptians prepared for the afterlife by a detailed process of mummification. Okay, I'm reading through it. You know what? As I'm reading through it, it says from my notes, because I have it here in my notes, it says, it's a little gross, so we won't go into much of the gory details. I don't think I need that in my summary because it doesn't really fit. So I'm going to take that out. And I don't really want to talk about it while I'm doing my summary. So I'm just going to take that section out. As you can see, it is part of my notes here, but I'm going to take it out here in my summary. Okay. So I reading through it, I need to add some transition words. So right here, in particular, comma, lowercase t, just like I did up here. Prepared for the afterlife by a, gotta make sure it's a lowercase a. All right, I got my word forever there. Reading through it, it makes sense. I like it. They believed that the dead come to life in the underworld and can live their way from diseases. I'm happy with that. I know what it means. I can talk about that. Okay, this is important because I'm adding transition words, lowercase w, because I'm in the middle of a sentence, right? When they died, they were mummified so the soul would return to the body, giving it breath and life. Now I have to put my words explaining this. This shows that the afterlife was very important to the ancient Egyptians, and preparing them for the afterlife was a serious thing. Those are my words. I can't just use text evidence because those are somebody else's words. Even though I'm giving credit to those words, I still have to add my own words to call it my writing. So notice I have up here in red, my writing, the statement. Here, transition words, my words. Here, this is important because, my words. And then, of course, here on the end, I explain why. What does this show? What does this whole section talk about? And why do I need it here in my notes? That is a complete summary. You need to have that for both of your summaries. Do you have your statement right here to start your summary? Do you have words changed into words you know? I have them both there. Do you have transition words here? Transition words here. Do you end it with a this shows that or this means that, explaining why in your own words you have these notes, these text text evidence in your summary? This is what a complete summary looks like. Please do not turn your notes in if you do not have a sure thing in your summary. If you can't talk about it, it shouldn't be in your summary because you will be in front of the class talking about it and you will be asked to explain. Only have the notes you understand. That's your summary. Okay? I hope this makes sense because we've talked about it a lot. Okay? Once again, I got my essential question here that I came up with Mr. Morris. I got my subclaim question here. It's a how question. I have my 3 sources that I got my notes from. I have my what notes. I have my why notes. And I have my how notes. Then I drop them in. How, what, why. And of course, my statement, transition, explanation, and words I've changed to make sense. Okay, good luck. This is what it looks like. You will be graded on it.